many confused men are wrapped in good guys' clothing?
Don't think confusion in dating is normal. I think we just learn to tolerate it because if you really think about it, when something is right, there's a certain calm that comes with it. You don't feel the need to overanalyze every interaction. You don't feel like you're trying to decode someone's behavior.
How many confused men are wrapped in good guys' clothing? They don't know what they want from a woman. They don't know if they want a relationship. But on paper, he looks like a good guy. He may have an authentic heart. He may not seriously want to hurt you, but his confusion still hurts, don't it? And you end up wasting years of your life with a man that didn't know what he wanted, that didn't know where he was going, that didn't know where he wanted to be. Don't that heartbreak still feel the same? Confused man is more dangerous than a bad one. Because that confused man looked like a good guy. He talked like a good guy. He's considerate like a good guy. He courts you like a good guy. And all the flags say proceed, except the fact that that man don't know what the he wants. And one day he wakes up and say, you not it. Because he didn't know what he was looking for. And my point is, you still waste your time nonetheless. If you still figuring out what the you like, figure that shit out in your house, away from people that's serious. If you haven't made up your mind, if you want a spouse or relationship, you are wasting my time. If we are dating and you don't have it made up in your mind prior to this date that you are looking for something serious, you are wasting my time. Because guess what? You ain't coming on this date. Matter of fact, you ain't telling me before the date that you only interested in a friends with benefits. No, you don't do that. You waste 3, 4, 5 months of my time before you tell me that sex was all you ever wanted. And in the meanwhile, what you do is you give me these vague answers that allow me to read into what I think you mean. Well, you know, I can see something happening between us. I mean, I ain't never felt this way about a woman or a man in my life. I mean, woo-wee, I don't know what I would do without you. You will say, a man will say all those things to you, right? Then be confused when you think he was talking about heading toward a committed relationship. Ladies, quit letting these off the hook.
If someone is trying to confuse you, it's not by accident. It's on purpose. Because people know exactly what they're doing. If you're getting unclear answers, if you're getting mixed signals from anyone, they're trying to confuse you because it's a way to deter you, to discourage you, to have you question yourself, to have you doubt, cause confusion, lower your frequency so that you're susceptible to believing anything. Okay. So remember, if someone causes confusion, it is a form of magic. And this is why when people seek clarity, they're not in your best interest, whether it's a job, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a family member, whether it's a person you're in a relationship with, whoever. Confusion is a form of energy siphoning. Okay. Confusion takes your energy because you're sitting there thinking, wondering, backtracking, trying to figure stuff out, wasting your time, wasting your energy. It is a distraction. It is a form of doubting yourself, causing yourself to question yourself. And that in itself is a negative form of energy siphoning from someone and also trying to break you down. So when you have to ask questions and you have to ask too many questions, it's time to stop talking and start focusing back on yourself and back on what's beneficial to you instead of what's confusing to you. How do you stop it? You don't focus on it anymore. You refocus on something that is beneficial and that is full of clarity. Okay. You stop focusing on it. You ignore it. You don't give it any energy at all. Okay. That's how you stop it.
If you're a girl, understand that the reason you get attached to the guy who confuses you the most is not because he's deeper. It's not because he's more special. And it's not because he's your soulmate. That's obvious. It's because your brain gets more chemically hooked on inconsistency rather than consistency. There's actual psychology behind this called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that makes slot machines addictive. And I know that sounds insane, but when a guy is hot and cold, when he gives you attention and then pulls away, your brain starts chasing the next reward harder than it would if he were just steady from the beginning. That's why the guy who is calm, clear, and consistent can feel boring at first, while the guy who scrambles your nervous system feels unforgettable. He's not unforgettable. He's just dysregulating you. So
In a lot of dating situations today, that's exactly what people are experiencing. You're constantly wondering, what did that mean? Why did they say that? Why are they acting differently now? And the more it happens, the more you start adjusting to it. You tell yourself, maybe this is just how dating is. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm overanalyzing. Maybe I just need to relax. But what if you're not overthinking? What if you're actually responding to inconsistency? Because confusion doesn't just come from nowhere. It usually comes from lack of clarity, from words not matching actions, from energy that keeps shifting, from someone being present one moment and distant the next. And your mind tries to make sense of that. It tries to fill in the gaps. It tries to create clarity where there isn't any. But clarity doesn't need to be created. Clarity is felt. Clarity feels calm. Confusion is a signal. And this is where things change. Because once you stop normalizing confusion, you start seeing situations differently. You stop chasing explanations. You stop overanalyzing behavior. You stop trying to make things make sense. And instead, you start asking a different question. Why am I trying to understand something that isn't clear to begin with? Because the right situation won't leave you in a state of confusion. The right situation won't leave you in a state of doubts. It's going to make you question yourself at every step. It won't feel like you're trying to figure someone out. So if you're feeling confused, don't ignore it. Don't explain it away. Pay attention to it. Because clarity doesn't feel like confusion. And confusion isn't something you're supposed to get used to. It is not normal. Let me know, have you ever adjusted to confusion without realizing it? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching.